Unlike in the US, where you can often find a neat 2-bed, 2-bath condo, or in the UK, where 1-bed flats dominate the big cities, France doesn't have that same middle market for singles. You either compromise on comfort or you pay for more space than you'll use. If you're moving to France on your own, single, retired, ready for a fresh start, there's a paradox you're going to run into no matter which region you choose. It's not about your tastes. It's not even about the city you've picked. It's about the way the French rental market is structured. And if you don't spot it early, it can leave you stuck, disappointed, and second-guessing your whole move. Today, I want to explain what the paradox is, why it happens, and most importantly, what you can do about it. So let's start with two real examples. Russell moved from the US to Bordeaux. His budget was modest, and the only thing that matched was a 30 square meter apartment in the city centre. Not exactly the dream home he had pictured. But here's what happened. He ended up out and about all the time, more sociable than he'd ever been in the States. Bordeaux became his base to explore the rest of France from, and the small apartment kept life simple. He'll upgrade eventually, but for now, he's thriving. Now, contrast that with Cynthia in St. Malo. We searched for 4 months, scraping together only 3 viable listings per week. Most were slightly above her budget, and because she couldn't imagine herself living in anything less than 40 square meters, every option felt wrong. Agencies wouldn't accept her dossier, the landlords weren't flexible, and in the end, she was stuck. Not because she didn't have the money, but because the middle ground she wanted simply didn't exist. These two stories highlight the paradox perfectly. In France, comfort comes bundled with space, and space comes bundled with cost. If you stick to your budget, what you find often looks more like student accommodation, functional, but not the lifestyle you came for. And if you raise your budget, you jump straight into larger family-style homes or apartments with rooms you'll never use. And that's the problem for single renters. They don't want to pay for cramped studios, but they also don't want to pay for empty space, rooms they won't use. I've seen this play out everywhere, in St. Malo, Marseille, Amiens, even Lyon. It's not about one city being too expensive. It's usually about the way the French rental market is set up. Unlike in the US, where you can often find a neat 2-bed, 2-bath condo, or in the UK, where 1-bed flats dominate the big cities, France doesn't have that same middle market for singles. You either compromise on comfort or you pay for more space than you'll use. That's the paradox. So I guess the point is, how do you handle it? First, I'd say there's a mindset shift. Think of rent not as paying for square meters, but as paying for quality of life. If you accept a smaller base, it isn't a defeat. It can actually be a rite of passage, a way for you to start simple, live lighter, and find your rhythm in France without overcommitting. Overcommitting is a real risk. Second, the tactical move. Widen your geography. If St. Malo is your dream, that's fine, but add Granville, Rennes, and even Nantes into the mix. When you expand the search, you expand the number of properties that actually fit your budget and expectations, and that gives you choices instead of frustration. Third, balance comfort with lifestyle. Ask yourself honestly, how much time will I spend at home? Really? If the answer is not much, then comfort doesn't have to come from the apartment. It can come from the cafes, the markets, the sea walks, the social life. Here's the truth. The single renter's paradox isn't going away. France just isn't built to give you the perfect 1-bed sweet spot in every city. But that doesn't mean you can't thrive. The singles who do best are the ones who treat the first year as a rite of passage. They start smaller, live simpler, and give themselves the freedom to adapt. Because I believe in France, or life in France, I should say, doesn't happen inside your 4 walls. It happens when you step outside them. And if you can embrace that, your move won't just work. It will give you exactly the freedom you came for in the first place. Thanks for listening, guys. À bientôt.